Hey everyone, welcome back to Hallmark Mysteries and More. Now, you may notice something's a little different today. That's right, I'm flying solo. Andrea can't join the podcast. She's busy with life, family, so there is no one to stop me from sharing my own unfiltered, uncensored, unchecked thoughts. And trust me, I've got thoughts. Instead of the usual movie review or an interview, I'm bringing you my special 5 bold, slightly fanatical, but totally reasonable ideas I'd roll out if I was given the keys to the Hallmark Media Kingdom. That's right, folks. If I were in charge, here's what would go down. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a TV executive, I've never run a network, and I definitely don't have a clue about what Hallmark's legal team does all day, and I hope they don't know what I'm doing. But hey, I'm a passionate fan, and I do know what works and what doesn't, and we all wish there's things that we could change. And based on the DMs we get and the comments on posts and chat rooms and social posts, I think a lot of us would like to see things shaken up a little bit. So stick around to the end because I've got a bonus idea that will really slay it. Get it? Slay? Sorry. Okay, let's dive into my Hallmark Takeover. My first initiative. All right, let's start with the big one. The elephant in the room wrapped in a cozy Hallmark sweater. It's a consolidated Hallmark channel. Hallmark Mysteries and Hallmark Family all in one single glorious channel. Look, we all know it's expensive to run one network, let alone 3. And the numbers don't lie. So far this year, Hallmark is pulling in about 581,000 viewers on average. Mystery, it's less than half that. Family, well, it's barely 60,000. So honestly, I think more people are watching our YouTube channel than are watching the Hallmark Family channel. I know some of you are already screaming at your phones, but hey, what about my mysteries? Don't worry, sleuthers, I've got ya. Let me break this all down. Running 3 separate networks means triple the costs, triple the programming, marketing, legal teams, tech, you name it. By consolidating Hallmark, we could cut costs, boost ratings, and wait for it, make better content. Sure, 3 networks can pull more ad dollars in theory, but when you combine everything into one supercharged Hallmark channel, and suddenly you've got higher ratings for mysteries that will command higher ad revenue than it was getting on its own channel, that's good news. And family, I'm not worried about losing those ad dollars. I probably have enough in my seat cushions to absorb that blow. So, no big deal. And let's not forget about the revenue from carriage fees. For those of you that don't know what they are, these are the monthly payments that cable and satellite providers are making to the network to carry them on their services. And I'm just doing some research. Hallmark gets around 40 cents per subscriber. Mystery, it's about 10 to 15 cents. Family, probably enough to buy a coffee. And not even the good fancy peppermint mocha. Then again, during these times, who knows if you can even buy a Dunkin' coffee. Okay, back to the money. With one strong network, Hallmark could negotiate a better deal and simplify everything. It wouldn't quite make it all up, but I would get close enough that the other savings that we're going to do would offset it. Now let's talk about those other savings. There would be fewer lawyers, that's always a good thing, and we know lawyers are not cheap. We'd also have one website, one social media team, one brand to manage, one satellite fee to pay for and maintain, so all those costs come down. There'd be less tech overhead, and IT folks, I'm sure, will be thanking me. Are you still unsure? You don't know? Then let's be real. Hallmark Family, which used to be known as Hallmark Drama or whatever it is, it hasn't exactly been setting the world on fire. I went over and I looked at the website, and it still has the announcement about the name change that was over a year ago. If that doesn't scream we forgot about this network, I don't know what does. And sorry fans of Touched by an Angel or Dr. Quinn, but it's time to say goodbye. And John Boy, you'll survive. Just not on my channel. But I'm not a total Grinch. I would dump Reba and let those shows come rotate overnight. So if ever there was a win-win, that's it. Let's get rid of Reba. Not a fan, but now what about Hallmark Mystery? You know this is where my heart is, but I don't need a separate network for mysteries to thrive. In fact, moving mysteries over to the main network would expose them to a way bigger audience. Many people can't even get Hallmark Mystery unless they pay a premium package. So while Hallmark, though, is on basically all basic cable. So there you go. All of a sudden you increase the chance for your audience. And more eyeballs equals more love for mysteries. All right, so what's my plan? Saturdays are going to stay the premiere of the rom-coms. Hallmark is the most watched entertainment network, thanks to them. So I may be crazy, but I'm not nuts. Fridays, though, are going to become the mystery night. They're going to kick off the weekend with a bang, maybe a clue. And then we'll have replays on, over the weekend for the people who missed it. So you'll go Friday with mystery and then Saturday with rom-com. The Hallmark family content, if you really need your Little House on the Prairie fix, then the Insomniacs will be able to find it overnight on Hallmark Plus. More about that later. You know what? And all these shows, if they get views, great. They'll stay. If not, dump them. Boom. One network, stronger than ever, saving cash, reinvesting it to make better content that actually keeps us coming back. Now that we've got one channel to rule them all, let's start talking streaming on Hallmark Plus, or as I like to call it, Hallmark Minus, because right now it's missing a lot. Let's be honest, Hallmark Plus had one job: make it easier for us fans to stream their favorite feel-good movies and mysteries whenever we want. Instead, we've had a host of technical issues, confusing menus, random crashes, no stereo for the audio files that our friends over at Hallmark Cafe, loves to point out. And don't even get me started on the search function. I was recently looking for Wedding Every Weekend, and it kept suggesting Wedding Veil. There's no Wedding Every Weekend to be found, and this was frustrating. What? Wedding Every Weekend is one of the 5 best Hallmark movies of all time, and I can't find it? That's just wrong. I had to search and search until I finally found it. Kimberly Sustad is worth the effort, but damn it, it shouldn't be hard to get my Sustad fix. It shouldn't. So here's what I would do if I were in charge. I would create an actual vision for Plus, because right now it feels that someone just threw all the movies into a digital junk drawer and just said, boom, done. There you go. Moving on. So what's my vision? Hallmark Plus is going to be the most beloved streaming home for heartfelt storytelling, where every movie, mystery, and moment brings people closer together. We want emotion, we want connection, we want nostalgia. That's what makes Hallmark Hallmark. Not just a movie library like every other streaming service, but a place that feels like home, a cozy one with a never-ending supply of hot cocoa because, damn it, this is Hallmark. Second thing is, let's fix that tech, all right? A stable app, yes please. Fast forward and rewind, come on, we want to party like it's 2025, not 1999, and better search. If I type Christmas, I better be getting Christmas movies and not like not like Halloween movies or whatever. So, I'd also personalize recommendations. When I'm on that Kimberly Sustad binge, help me find everything she's in. I want to go down that rabbit hole. When I search for her, I had the whole library of Darryl and Daryl come up. So I guess right now the app just thinks one Kimberly is as good as another. I mean, come on, Darryl and Daryl is fantastic, by the way. But, I don't know. Give me my Kimberly Sustad when I want Kimberly Sustad. By having those personalized things, that's how you keep people hooked. Every other platform uses it, so will we. The algorithm is there for a reason. And then all movies all the time, if there's not a legal reason why we can't do it, it's going to be on Plus, period. And then make series exclusive. Yep, I'm going there. Series are only available on Plus, never the network. The Way Home? Absolutely. Mistletoe Murders? Yep. And even when the heart calls, you got to do it. They all are exclusively going to be on Plus. Why? Because if people feel like they're missing out, they're going to sign up. Even those that complain about the $8, they just haven't been convinced that they need Plus. You know, it's the good old fear of missing out. FOMO, trust me, it works. I know the Hardys are going to be coming after me, but tough decisions have to be made, and I'm the guy to make those tough decisions. Next thing, director cuts. Oh yeah, I'm talking about extended version of the biggest hits. Like, imagine Biltmore Christmas if there's 15 more minutes of movie magic. Who wouldn't watch that? Streaming isn't limited by commercials or fixed time slots like regular cable is, so we can let the stories breathe. There's no more mad dash endings where they just have to rush everything, just to get there. On Plus, we have all the time we need. Next, original series. Think like a castle-style mystery that Dylan Neal was telling us about, but this one with Alden and Bertie, the cases of Mystery Lane. Turn that into a weekly with weekly shenanigans. Yes, please. Or how about a modern-day Murder, She Wrote with someone like Terrell Rothery solving crimes with charm? I'm sure even Andrea could get on board with this one. Or a new Poirot-inspired sleuth. His niece, Haley Poirot, played by like Vic Michaelis or Amy Groening. That would kill, literally. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean. And then Spencer Sisters, bring them back. That series is ready to go. It has a built-in fan base. The cast is set. Stories are written. This is going to be my easiest decision of everything I do. Well, other than dumping Reba, that's a pretty easy one too. And then procedurals, not just the mystery ones, but procedurals. Remember Christmas on Call? That movie was basically begging to become a medical drama. EMTs, police, first responders, it's all in there. I'd be hooked, you'd be hooked, we'd all be hooked. And of course, create some more cozy family dramas like Chesapeake Shores, Cedar Cove, Chicken Sisters, or, could we be so lucky as to create something as good as The Good Witch? That was magic, and damn, I'm good with these ideas. I have to say it. I'm patting myself in the back right now. Streaming needs to feel like value, not just, oh, here's the movie I missed, but rather, wow. I can only get it here on Plus. On to Initiative 3. Fewer movies, but better movies. Now this one might ruffle some tinsel, but hear me out. You may not know this, but Hallmark made 107 movies last year. It may be give or take, but that's what I counted. So let's be real. They weren't all winners. Some were just meh. Like eating a cookie that Hannah Swenson didn't bake. Sure, it looks good, but then you put it in your mouth, you chew, and it's just dry and flavorless. Give me my Hannah chocolate chip crunch. That's what I want. So I'd cut down the number of movies, especially the rom-coms, to only doing 3 new ones a month. Right now we do 4, so I'd basically eliminate 1. Why? So we can reinvest in quality. And yes, I'd even scale back the sacred countdown to Christmas. I know, crazy, but that's what I would do. All right, so here's my plan. Thursday nights, this is for countdown to Christmas. Thursday nights, we have classic holiday movies. I know some people would be, way more excited to watch The Most Wonderful Time of the Year or The Biltmore Christmas, way more than A Nice Palace Christmas. Then Friday nights we'll run premieres with Fresh Faces or Rising Stars. Think Round and Round, Ghost of Christmas Always. those were just wonderful treasures of movies that we discovered. They had great scripts and introduced us some great new talent. Then Saturday night, that's when the heavy hitters come out. We're going to have our Tyler Hynes, our Lacey Chabert, Christopher Palaha, and Nikki DeLoach. Bring in the big guns. Those are those big movies. And then Sundays, that's going to be the more heartfelt, deeper stories. We used to call them Miracle and, Miracles of Christmas, but there's no need for that fancy label. If you look back at last year, half of the Miracle movies were essentially just regular old rom-coms anyhow. So just whatever. If it's a little more serious or, Day Springs, those are going to go on the Sundays. So we had 48 total Christmas movies last year. We're going to be cutting it down to 30 solid ones. And let's be honest, you know that at least 15 of those 48 movies were just background noise while you're wrapping presents, getting ready, doing all sorts of other things that you weren't really watching. I don't think any of us are going to miss a Howling Holiday or Private Princess Holiday under my rule. And cameos. Here's a cameo, there's a cameo, cameos all over the place. And no, I won't announce them. That's just lame. It's a wonderful surprise when we see one of our Hallmark stars make an unexpected appearance. So overall, less quantity, more quality. No more cookie cutter plots with just a different actor in a slightly different town. We can still have the comfort food movies, but they'll be fresh and fun, not the stuff that, makes Hallmark jokes where everyone's just laughing at it, saying it's essentially the same exact plot. Oh, hey, give me, Hallmark discovers a second plot. No, we're past that. All right, we're rolling on to the next initiative, which is mysteries are going to get their moment, that Friday night spotlight. All right, sleuthers. Now, this one is close to my heart because if I'm in charge, mysteries are totally going to be getting the spotlight. Remember how I said we're making Friday night mystery night? That's not changing. It is official. The end of the work week, time to grab your cup of herbal tea and get comfy, and then let mysteries take you into the weekend. So here's that plan. We're going to have 2 new mysteries premiering every month, airing on those Friday nights. Then we'll rerun them across the weekend, so anyone who missed them will have a chance to, watch it, or if you just want to get your sleuth on again, there you go. The other nights we'll be showing, some of the biggest ones. All right, we'll get our mystery one on our crossword, all those good classic ones, kind of like we're doing with the holiday movies. So 2 new mysteries every month, my guarantee. But we're not just throwing mysteries at the wall to see what sticks, which is kind of what it seems like Hallmark is doing right now. Every new mystery series is going to get a minimum 3 movie commitment. Minimum. Because let's face it, 1 movie just isn't enough to fall in love with the characters or fully get invested. We have often talked about how that first mystery is often clunky. Think about Curious Caterer. The first one was, it was good. But by the second and third one, we were hooked on Goldie, Marla, and Detective Schultz. If a series does well, we'll greenlight it for up to 10 total mysteries. That's enough time for our favorite detectives to have full stories and, a complete arc. And then we'll let them ride off into the sunset before things get stale. You have to admit, the original Garcia mysteries and Auroras, they just got kind of old after that point. Nothing is getting stale under my direction, so tough love. That's what I'm here for. And then listen up. I'm going to say it. No more cliffhangers. Unless we already have the next movie locked and loaded, I will personally banish any unresolved endings. No more Mystery 101 heartbreaks. If we don't have a sequel in production, we're wrapping that mystery up with a bow. Thank you very much. Not going to happen. No cut color murders. Nope. They are going to be resolved, or we have that next one coming. It's going to happen. Here's the other good news. Mysteries won't have to live on a shoestring budget anymore. Remember all this consolidation, all these things we did? That's freed up money. By moving them to the main channel, that means more viewers, better budgets, and stronger stories. Great storytelling always finds an audience. And with me running the show, mysteries won't just survive, they will thrive. That takes us into our final initiative, and that is marketing that actually works. It's what I did before I took over as being Hallmark czar and all. So I know a little bit about marketing. Because if a Hallmark movie premieres and no one knows about it, did it even happen? Too often lately, we are getting promo posters like 2 days before a movie drops. Meanwhile, one movie, Hallmark Touchdown, gets all the spotlight. And we're not going to do that. There's so many other good movies, so many better movies. We need better balance. Christmas on Call and Follow Yonder Star were both amazing this last year, yet neither of them barely got any promotion. That was just wasted potential. Okay, here's the fix. First, I would have the Hallmark Media site fixed. Half the time, movies aren't even being added. Other times, they aren't being included with all the information, like the cast and the crew aren't, that information's not being there. It would be such a great resource, and it just needs to be updated because it's seemingly been abandoned. Yes, we're also going to keep the big media push, the People magazine, Us Weekly, and all that. But also, let us not ignore the real MVPs, the content creators, the podcasters, the bloggers, the Instagram influencers, people like us, like Dear Hallmark, Hallmark Cafe, Hallmarkies, Hallmark enthusiasts. We're here, we are passionate, and we talk about these movies week in, week out. We don't publish rankings like the major pubs that leave every real Hallmark fan scratching their head, wondering what the F. We know what we're talking about. Our followers are the people that go to work each week and tell their coworkers about how great Hallmark movies are. They're the evangelists out there. So we need to be involved. And you know what? I'm frugal. So the good thing is, the best part of this, it won't take much. Just create a weekly email that you can update us on the movie information, share some photos. Good heavens, give us a screener every now and then, at least some clips that the rest of the public don't get, so we can really get on board and really promote these movies. Help us help you. Enable us to spread the word. Let us be the gospel. Brands use influencers for a reason. In my day job, influencer campaigns outperform ads by 10 times, sometimes 100 times. And at Hallmark, we're going to do the same. We're going to latch on to these people like us and these other ones I told you about. Okay, so there it is. That's my favorite 5-step plan for making Hallmark everything we want it to be. But you stuck with me this long, so I promised you a bonus idea, so here we go. At the end of the year, there's going to be one big holiday mystery movie, an actual mystery movie. We're going to go big or we're going to go home, and we're going to actually go big, so we're not going home. So imagine Aurora Teagarden, A Carol, A Corpse, and a Clue. Or Hannah Swenson, Gingerbread Grudge. Curious Caterer, Murder Under the Mistletoe. Or, hear me out, Cases of Mystery Lane, Jingle Bells and Jailhouse Cells, where Alden and Bertie get arrested on a holiday trip and team up with none other than Travis Burke to prove their innocence and solve the case. Tell me you wouldn't watch that. Hells yes, we are all in. So there you have it, my 5-point plan, plus a holiday bonus to make Hallmark Media the best it can be. One strong, streamlined network, Hallmark Plus, that actually delivers fewer but better movies, mysteries that thrive and not just survive, and smarter, fan-driven marketing. Now it's your turn. What would you do if you ran Hallmark? Hit us up over on Instagram at Hallmark Mysteries and More, or leave a comment on YouTube and share your ideas. time for me to get back to watching some old mystery, which I'm not sure what I'm going to watch tonight, and dreaming about my takeover. See you next time when Andrea and I review what is probably the last and the final signed, sealed, delivered movie to the moon and back. Stay sleuthy, friends.